Hey guys, what is up? It is your boy Jamie Farnsworth with AFC Vending. Listen, Bear Squad, so what we're going to be working on today is a Royal 660 machine. We are going to be changing one column, well, it's actually two columns set to one button from cans to bottles. Now, as you can see, I've got the machine opened up here and we're trying to get that little rod out of there. We've already emptied the machine and getting right to it. So I'm going to grab a little screwdriver here because it's not playing friendly and I don't have any WD-40, which is really magic with vending machines, guys. Love that stuff. So you can see I've got it pried open a little bit. I've got my little helper with me and we're going to teach her at the same time that I teach you. So we got to pull that rod out, and it can be kind of tough sometimes when the machines are getting old. You can see I'm trying to pull it with one hand, doesn't work. Pull it with two, comes right out, no problems whatsoever. Now, that rod goes into a couple of C-cup shaped, like half cup shaped pieces of metal that will hold your cans in place or your bottles in place. You've got two settings on these little C-cups. You've got a setting for cans and a setting for bottles. Your setting for cans is usually the one furthest to the right because it pushes the C-cup closer in, so you've got less of a diameter space to drop the can. The one closer to the left, or I like to call it the top. I don't know why I do, but I do. I call it the top. That one is going to be your one from bottles. Now you want to run all of these through. Your first little C-cup thing only has one that you can fit it through. So you fit it through the first one, and then the second two cups on your first column, you're going to want to go on the top one for bottles or the left one for bottles, whichever you want to call it. And you just kind of work that in there. You're going to go through into the second column as well. You're going to do it the same way. Your very first C-cup looking thing is going to be, oh, I pulled it back out. You see, I'm fighting with it here. I had a little bit of an issue where it kept sliding out of that first C-cup thing. I finally did eventually get it correct. I fought with it for quite a while because I didn't have any WD-40 on me. Guys, always remember to get the WD-40. So, once you get it in there, you're going to go all the way through and make sure that you've got, what is it? It's 3 C-cup metal pieces per column. So you're going to have 6 of them that rod goes through, right? Because you get a column in front and a column behind. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that first column is going through where it's supposed to go through. It's a little circular 3/4 moon looking thing. And then you're going to go into the next one. You can kind of see right here what's down there. I should have worn the GoPro a little further up. Maybe like get a GoPro hat or something for my head. Oh wait, you can see it. You can see it pretty good. I'm going to freeze the frame real quick. Right there. You see that? You can see it just fine. Hold on, let me zoom in just a little bit and we'll see it a little bit more. See, I got arrows on it now. So you've got a big one, a mini one, and then a long one. You're going to have that in the front column and in the back column. We're going to freeze frame in just a second here as well because you can see where that Dr. Pepper is right now. You're going to be able to actually see the 2 little slots for the rod, where the rod needs to go through. Now, I waited until there was a little bit of light out of the way just so we could make sure you guys could see it, and then I zoomed right in. See, we've got one on the right hand for cans and one on the left hand for bottles. Now, in a second here, we're going to switch back to everything, and you guys are going to watch me sit here and struggle with this muckalacca for a little while. And now, I didn't have any WD-40. I really wish I had some WD-40 because this would have made this so much easier. I wouldn't have had nearly as many issues as I wind up having. I wouldn't really say they're issues, just things didn't want to move quite as easily as they could have been moving, you know? It's one of those sort of deals. But I'm sitting down here and just kind of working on the machine, trying to work that rod back into place. And you got to do it in the front and the back. And you've got to make sure everything's correct when you do it. Right here, I think I'm just going to switch my position. Maybe I can... It's hanging up really bad on me. So I'm trying to like wiggle it around and see what I'm doing at the same time. I wish you guys could see what I'm doing with my hands right now. Definitely going to put like a helmet cam on next time or something like that, so you guys can see a little. Oh, you can kind of see what we're working on here. You can kind of see. No, went too far down. I had the camera set back just a little bit as well, because I noticed in the last video I did the camera was a little too high. But it looks like everything's starting to go in at this point. If I remember correctly, I actually had to tap that thing pretty hard to get it to go all the way back. Maybe I did just get it with my hands. We'll find out in a second here. We're gonna move right into this. Now, what you're gonna have to do once you get your rod all the way to the back is you're gonna have to program the machine so it works properly. Now, how you do that is you use your password, like I've shown you guys in the past, and I'll run you through it real quick while I'm sitting here working on this machine. Looks like I'm getting up everything about ready to go. Yeah, you can see it's all the way in there, so we're good to go now. Now you gotta get the password, and I'm gonna fill up the water real quick, and while we're doing that, I'll tell you exactly how that happens. So what you have to do is you press your button on the machine, which I think I might have recorded. I hope I recorded, and we'll find out in a little bit. You press your machine, the button on the motherboard on your machine, and it'll bring you to a screen that says ERR or EROR, and you're going to use your up and down buttons, which is going to be your second and third button from the top, to scroll through the menu until you see a menu that says PASS. Once you find PASS, you're going to use the fourth button down, which is your enter button, to select that. And then you're going to use the second button down, the third button down, the first button, and then you're going to hit enter again using the fourth button down. And it should bring you into a menu. Look at Echo. She is just sticking her tongue out at the camera. That was pretty funny. Now, I think I did record this, and you're going to get an opportunity. There's the button. We're going to press the button there. You're going to get an opportunity to see me troubleshoot a little bit. I pressed that button, and then I came around to the front, and I find that the password wasn't working because one of the buttons wasn't working. So we've got the EROR showing. We're going to use the second button down to scroll until we see password. Hit the fourth button down, and then I'm doing the password sequence, but nothing happens. Now, I did this several times, and I got pretty darn frustrated when it was happening because I couldn't seem to get it to work. But what it was is the Mountain Dew button, the top button there, wasn't set in place properly, so I just had to poke it back into place, and then it worked fine after that. I'm gonna see if how many times did I mess with it before I actually checked it. It clicked in my head after a while. I was like, you know what, it's not working. I bet you that there's a problem here. I like really slowly at this point, really slowly make sure I go through it and make sure everything works. And like, I know I did it right that time, and it still didn't pop up correctly for me, which was kind of frustrating. Geez, I tried this a whole bunch of times before I finally looked at it. Come on, just go back and look at it, Jamie. You know that it's wrong. You know something's not right. Go look at it. I can't remember if I filmed it or not, to be honest. I might have shut the camera off because I was getting frustrated or something. But it turned out the button up top was broken. Okay, so I just skipped ahead and found the spot where I actually start fixing the machine. So I open the door, and my suspicion is that one of the buttons isn't working, and I have played with it enough that I figured out that the Mountain Dew button wasn't working, like I said before. So I get down, and I just look at it, do a quick inspection to see if maybe it's loose, and I find that yes, in fact, it is actually loose. So I pulled the button back and just kind of squeezed it together to make sure everything was functioning properly, and tested it a few times to make sure that it was actually like, because that's the back button, you don't really use it much in programming, but when I tested it, I found that it was indeed working. And I showed Echo how to work with that. I'm not sure how much of it she retained because she was bouncing around quite a bit, but she is learning all about these machines. So in a second here, I've got it all figured out and everything's working. We'll get back to it. Okay, so I just hopped ahead. I've already gone through the password menu, and we're looking for SDEP. SDEP. We're going to navigate with our up and down buttons. Then we're going to press enter when we find it, and we're going to navigate with our up and down buttons again. We're looking for S3 because it's selection 3. Press enter when we find it, and press the up button to go away from 2 and onto 1. Then you press your enter button and just start working your way back with your back button. Now, the reason we go to 1 is because with a can you can get 2 wide in a column. With a bottle you can only get 1. So we're going to pull some money out of the machine because we're going to use that to test and make sure that everything's coming out the way that we want it to. We're just going to close up the machine real quick. I can't remember if I tightened it down or not. Yeah, I tightened it a little bit. But we're going to close down the machine real quick and we're going to test it. I think I tested it like 6 or 7 times. You want to do that because the bottles have like pressure in them to keep them from condensing so they don't fall out. Man, it took me forever to figure out the word that I was trying to figure out. So we're going to put another $1 in there. It worked the first time. Can't remember if I bend over enough for you to see it or not. Yep, another one. That worked. And that's how you change from a can over to a bottle on a Royal 660 machine. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Listen, if you want to start your own vending company, I strongly recommend you check Vensoft out. I've got a link in the description below. It's helped me so much with my vending company, and I'm so excited for all of the new updates coming out, or not even updates, they're just really cool things that I'm about to learn about it. Also, if you guys want to start your own YouTube channel and start making passive income with YouTube, I strongly recommend using the Google Chrome add-on that is TubeBuddy. I love it, I use it all the time. It helps me get everything that I really need out of YouTube. It really helps me understand how to make my videos better, what you guys respond to, what you don't respond to. Really, really strong tool. If you guys want to support the channel in an even easier way that's free to you and easy to do, share this video with one of your friends. Share it to your social media. Just share it somewhere because YouTube really loves that. Leave a comment, like the video, and just watch another one or something. Thanks guys so much. Remember to love life, live your dreams. Love you, Bear Squad. Be Farnsworthy. Peace.